I've been with that university for 7 years. And then of recent, there's another university. It's Christian based here in Dallas. I've been with them since 2020. Wow. 4 years now. Wow. So,
Wow.
yeah. And so I love the fact that I've had the ability to instill knowledge
Mhm.
into learners because I share everything that I wish I had in my educational journey, the good things and the things that presented challenges. And I really just share those like real insights in the classroom. And I think that's why my students, they gravitate to me. Oftentimes my classes are booked, and it's YouTube now. Doesn't it helps with that because now they're like, oh, I seen you on YouTube. Yeah, definitely he's the person. And because my name is so unique, it's like we're not, this has to be her. And so when they look it up, they're like, yes, I'm in her class and I see her, I watch you on YouTube, Professor, and I'm so happy to be in your class. And I'm like, oh wow.
Yes.
So it's busy, but it's going. And at the Dallas school, there are new they have a new master's program, and they were looking for someone to really help them grow it in a way that would be sustainable. And they had this position of lead adjunct and more money. And it just allowed me to give like that creative insights that I want to bring into the classroom. I think being a change agent requires you to insert yourself in places that may feel uncomfortable to many, but it allows you to express your voice. It allows you to advocate for things that students can relate to. I hate the classrooms, honestly, that all you're doing is just speaking at me. You're just
Mhm.
lecturing to me. This stuff is not, transfer or converting to how I'm going to use this in the field. And I've always been like, okay, no, the classroom should feel like an extension of what you're about to walk into as a healthcare professional, especially. The healthcare industry is multifaceted and highly complex, and it's not for the faint of heart. And also having that like practical experience, clinical expertise, and all of the years, because I've done that now for like 16 years working in hospitals, clinics, all alongside all of the other stuff that I talked about earlier, and has given me a wealth of knowledge that I get to offload it in the classroom. Because like my family and friends, they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, you just don't, you don't get it. But when I come in, I offload it in the classroom. The students is like, wow, yeah, you had that experience. I'm like, yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like, this is what I mean when I'm telling you this was so a unique thing that happened as a manager and the patient, where family members is like, okay, are you okay? Do you do you need some stress? What's happening? How can I support you? And so I love bringing that into the classroom. Students, it's busy. Academia is busy, but I love the adjunct lifestyle because it allows me to do the things that I enjoy.
I love to hear your perspective on being an adjunct because I think a lot of people kind of think of an adjunct position as like a consolation, like, oh, well, I'll get a better job later. I'm using air quotes if you're listening,
Uh-huh.
audio, but like people think that the tenure track professor position is like the gold standard and it's the job that everyone should strive for. It wasn't what I wanted, right? I just wanted to teach. So I chose a position where I'm teaching, and you enjoy teaching and like sharing your experience, and you like the flexibility of being an adjunct. So I'm so happy to hear that you've been having a positive experience and that you can have a positive experience as a adjunct. So thanks for sharing that.
Yes, there is a hustle though. There,
Tell us about it.
yeah, there's a hustle because with adjunct, there's you for many people they have other sources of income because depending on the demand, you can have an amazing like a large class load or it can be small, and they usually do first come first serve basis. And I would tell you that as an adjunct professor, it causes you not to have all of your eggs in one basket. And so once you have that in your mind, like, okay, what is my game plan, it makes it a little more easier to push through. And that's something I had to learn.
Mm,
um, I would say the pandemic taught me that because at the height before the pandemic, I was working full time in the hospital, but I also was teaching part time. So I've always had like sources of income. But during the height of the beginning of the pandemic, I was just wrapping up my doctoral program, and so I really needed like the time. So I had to make a decision. I said, okay, well, I can't be teaching working full time and trying to focus on this dissertation I want to be done. So I made the decision to really go let go of the hospital job and just teach. And even in the pandemic, there was a lot of workload because everybody's moving online. And so once the pandemic kind of trickled off, things started to slow down. And so I've always been a person like, okay, I'm not putting all of my eggs in one basket. And academia has this role in this life, but it's not I'm not depending on it for everything. I have other things going on. And there are days where you have amazing days, and then there are days you're like, whoo. But as long as you have a support system and a place where you anchor yourself in, which for me is God, you can really enjoy that experience for sure.